Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our Wednesday wellness session. This week, we are going to talk about the chocolate effect, which will not just involve chocolate, but we'll talk a little bit about food and mood. We're just going to touch on that because that is such a big topic. Some nutrition facts. Can chocolate be good for you? And snacking. So again, as with every session, you'll be able to view it afterwards through the link or on our YouTube channel, which we'll show you afterwards. So, can food affect our mood? So it really can actually affect how we feel, and how we feel can influence our food choices. So this is a little bit of a cycle going on. The nutrient content and will kind of affect how we feel. You know, if we're not eating a healthy, balanced, nutritious diet, then we may be lacking some nutrients, which therefore may actually affect our mood, as well as there are existing associations. So kind of like our pleasure and reward. So say you went and done a really hard session in the gym or went for a really long run, you may think, oh, well, I've burnt loads of calories, so I can have that nice piece of chocolate cake. So there is that kind of association with food. And as I said again, not eating enough nutrient-rich foods, we may become deficient, and that will affect our energy levels. It really will affect our mood. And actually, which I didn't realize, 20% of all our energy that we need on a daily basis is used for brain function. So if we put that into calorie terms, for females that require 2,000 calories per day, that would amount to 400 calories. And for males, which is 2,500 calories, it would actually be 500 calories of their total calorie intake that we need, or that energy is needed for brain function. So quite interesting, really. Now, there is more and more emerging research in terms of food and mood, just as there is with the gut-brain axis and how our digestive health, and our mood and our brains, all those links. So just kind of keep watching out and reading like legitimate sources as well. Now, as always, I do like to get the Eat Well guide in there at some point, but really, more and more, hopefully you will be more aware of the fact that having a healthy, balanced diet with, kind of variety of foods really will help you maintain health. Why? Well, in terms of food, mood, etc., it manages our blood sugar levels, and we, by having a good source of carbohydrates in our food or our meals will actually help release energy slowly, keeping a constant energy supply. Therefore, there's no depletion. Therefore, it won't affect your mood. You won't be feeling tired and lethargic. And having the whole grain options, so brown bread, brown pasta, and rice, actually, that releases energy much more slowly as well, because it's an extra layer in terms of the whole grain to be broken down to produce the energy. Also, we need lots of vitamins and minerals, albeit in minute amounts. These really do help regulate all our hormone functions to keep everything ticking over and everything functioning properly. And if we are deficient in any of these, this will also impact our mood. And, it really does provide us with the energy to maintain health and mood. So again, our carbohydrate and also our B vitamins. So B vitamins, whilst they have loads of other functions, they also help our body to break or to produce energy from our carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So again, this is a little bit overarching, but really it is all about balance and in moderation. I'm a strong believer that food really should be enjoyed. You just need to balance your energy balance out. So in terms of negative energy balance, this is where we're not consuming enough energy for our daily moods, and this will have a massive impact on our mood. And then positive energy balance is where we are consuming too much. So we're perhaps overindulging too much and not exercising enough. And over a prolonged period of time, we start to put on weight. And that can really impact how we feel about ourselves and what we can do, for example, moving from A to B, etc. So it really is about balance. We want to consume the right amount of energy for our daily needs, and that will allow us to have a treat every so often. Again, not every single day, but as long as you factor it into your daily calorie intake, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of chocolate or a sweet, etc. So just to touch on serotonin, you may have heard of this. So serotonin is known as the happy hormone, and there are actually 4 happy hormones. Oh, sorry, it's just, there we go. So there are 4 happy hormones. So serotonin is one, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, which you may also have heard of as well. And these are, well, serotonin in particular is a neurotransmitter, which controls or sends messages within the brain. Serotonin can also improve our mood and how we feel, and hopefully as we go through the next couple of slides, things will start to become a little bit clearer, and kind of understanding the whole association with food and hormones and serotonin, etc. But in terms of serotonin and how you feel, if you do have a low amount of serotonin, you may start to feel sad, have a really low mood, lack of energy, negative thoughts, and you may crave some sweets to kind of lift your mood, which again is kind of both from a physical point of view, that you maybe need more energy, as well as a comfort point of view as well. Serotonin can also improve our sleep, or control our sleep, which we'll talk about in a couple of weeks' time. And it is made with part of a protein from the diet, which is called tryptophan, which we will talk about now. So tryptophan, this is an essential nutrient, which in other words means that our body can't produce it, so we must get it from the diet. Now, tryptophan it's an essential amino acid that serves several important purposes. So, for example, the nitrogen balance in adults, the growth in infants, and it also creates niacin, which is essential in creating the neurotransmitter serotonin. So there are 2 forms of tryptophan, and the one that helps produce the serotonin is L-tryptophan. And you can find it in foods such as chicken, eggs, cheese, so sort of protein-based foods, because it is an amino acid, and an amino acid is a collection of proteins. However, eating carbohydrate-rich foods actually may help you release more tryptophan into the brain, which then will help the release of serotonin and also help you have a more positive mood. Why? So carbohydrates cause the body to release more insulin, and because this then promotes amino acid absorption and leaves the tryptophan in the blood, which again then travels up to the brain. And this is why you may have sort of heard of the carbohydrate craving, where you're craving sweet foods, comfort foods, you want to boost your mood. The research in this is still not conclusive, so it's not clear as to what the exact effect is. But obviously, the logic is, if you are consuming carbohydrates which are releasing the insulin, and we know that it promotes amino acid absorption, then you can sort of logically understand it a little bit of how it can affect your mood. It may also be that there's all these diets out there that kind of cut out key nutrients, or the macronutrients, and it's all about, we don't want to be eating the carbohydrates, it's all, we need protein, or, so the keto diet, etc. So this may be, that if we're not consuming adequate amounts of carbohydrate, it can lead to your low mood, because we don't have the insulin release to be able to allow for the tryptophan to travel. So that's the logic around it. I hope you can sort of see. And again, this all comes round to, again, a healthy, balanced diet. You need a little bit of everything to stay nice and healthy. So chocolate, the real reason why most of you are probably here, you want me to say chocolate is a really nutritious food, and we don't need to worry about eating loads. Unfortunately, I am not going to say that. However, chocolate has been shown to release endorphins and trigger the brain signals, which make you feel woo. And this is because endorphins, they're stress and pain are actually the two most common factors that lead to the release of endorphins, and they really act as natural drugs. So it's kind of like having some morphine and codeine. It takes the pain away and makes you feel much better and removes the negativity. Chocolate also contains cocoa. Now, cocoa is a flavonoid, which is a phytonutrient, which in other words is an antioxidant, which you may have heard of. And antioxidants, they support our immune function. So again, another benefit. However, cocoa is, if you taste it in its natural state, it is very, very bitter and not very palatable. So we have to, from the production side of things, add some sugar and fat to make it more tasty. Also, the research for the benefits of cocoa are not conclusive, sorry to say. But that said, there's nothing to say, that having a small piece of chocolate, to lift your mood if it makes you feel good, and that's what you need, good. But, factor it into your calorie intake, and as long as you're not doing it all the time. So, again, it leads on to watch your portion. Now, again, we're going to have another session on portion sizes eventually. But, for the supposed effect of cocoa, you only need 28 grams. And if you look at the average chocolate bar, now I'm talking about a small chocolate bar, not the big ones, they are 45 grams. So you don't even need a whole bar to have the supposed effect of chocolate lifting your mood. Also, there's perceived portions. So we all want value for money. Over the years, this has become very distorted, and therefore, we want the bigger portion because it's better value, and then we end up eating a little bit more. And often there's more than one portion in a packet, and that's not just confectionery. So it is really important to kind of keep a track of that, and that will help you manage your energy balance. So again, just some examples here. We have a large bar of dairy milk, which supposedly is 12 portions, and one portion is 160 calories. So I'll let you do the maths there, but I am sure that most of us would have more than one portion if we have one of those bars, which we are supposed to be sharing. Again, a large bag of Haribo, 190 grams, in a bag, which is roughly 7.6 portions, which is roughly 86 calories per portion. Again, the big bags of crisps, so they're the big ones. I'm sure most of us can eat a whole bag in one go, but supposedly it's actually nearly 5 portions in that bag, and each portion is 146 calories. And again, if we look at Yop, so a milkshake drink, again, 500 milliliter bottle, you think it's a bottle, it's not like a liter bottle, so that would be one portion, but actually there's 4.7 portions within that whenever you look at the label, and one portion is 146 calories. So you can see how your energy balance, you can really result into go into positive energy balance very, very quickly throughout the day. So alternatives. I would say, everything in moderation, balance, and we should enjoy food. And there are always alternatives or other options that we can have, as well as maintaining our energy levels to try and eliminate the low mood slump. So for chocolate, if you opt for a higher cocoa content and look for less, ones that have less sugar in it, so that would tend to be more dark chocolate. Watch out for the fillings, because they will add more calories. Also, you can opt for the diet and zero drinks, because sometimes the placebo effect is all that we need to kind of feel, well, in a much more positive mood. We can opt for the baked crisps rather than fried, and also the no added sugar sweets instead of full sugar. And also portion out the sharing packets. So if you feel, if it's the bag sitting beside you and you've said you're going to stop, you're not going to have any more, but then it's sitting beside you and you think, oh, I'll just have another little one. If you actually measure it out in the kitchen and bring it to the living room to have it, if you're watching a movie or something, it may actually stop you having more than one portion because you maybe can't be bothered getting up in the middle of the film to get more. And again, another way to lift our mood is actually exercise, to really lift the endorphins that you get through eating chocolate as well. So that is today's session. I hope you've got something out of it. Chocolate isn't all bad, it's about balance. Again, if you want to re-watch this, you can either click on the link or you can go to the We Are ESS YouTube channel, where there will also be a short little video clip on chocolate, as well as all the other sessions that we've done so far. Don't forget that we also have the Nourish Life website, so you can access loads of nutritionists who are specialists in their own fields, along with chefs, some recipes and wider wellbeing advice. And within ESS, please do utilise the ESS nutrition email address. We are a free service here to support you in however way we can in terms of helping you and your own personal journey in improving your wellbeing. Next week then we have Not All Bacteria is Bad. So please do join us, and I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.